This is Ewan. He's going to be doing his mock driving test today. You already have a driving licence, don't you?
Yep.
How long have you been driving?
3 to 4 years.
And I believe you drive for work, is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
What do you do?
As the delivery driver.
Okay, so why are you here today then?
Just to get some more driving experience.
Okay, you want to see how you are?
Yeah.
After passing the test and driving for a few years?
Yep,
See if you
experience
can...
at ASDA.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, see if you can still pass
Yep.
the driving test in Great Britain. Right, I'll go and get your driving examiner then.
Cool.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Arthur.
Hello, Alpha.
What would you like me to call you today?
Ewan.
Ewan. Okay, 1 second. Oh, dear. Oh. Oh, wretched seatbelt. Could you pass the seatbelt for me, please? My back's not what it used to be.
Yeah, I've just got to take my seatbelt off quickly. Oh, sorry. There you go.
This is what you get for not paying into your pension as a young boy. You have to work for the rest of your life. Can't complain though, I did enjoy myself. So, would you like me to tell you about your test today?
Yes, please.
It's going to be between 38 and 40 minutes. It's going to take into account various road and traffic conditions. You may be asked to do the emergency stop, and there will be one manoeuvre.
Okay.
And for this test, I'm going to ask you to follow the sat-nav. Not for all the test, but for part of it. Don't worry, I'll tell you when I want you to follow the sat-nav, and I'll give you plenty of warning before I want you to do the emergency stop. Okay. So you don't have to be on edge. It's cool. Nice and relaxed. And enjoy the ride. Before we get going, can you tell me how to check your head restraint is correctly adjusted?
Right. You turn around, and then you've got where is it? You usually have a button here, and then you push it in to go up and down, and you've got to line it across your ears.
Which bit of the head restraint should be in line with your ears?
This bit.
The middle?
Yeah.
Okay, fair. Good. So, move on when you're ready, please. I would like you to follow the road ahead, unless I say left or right, or unless road signs and markings direct you otherwise.
Cool.
Ewan started signalling before he had checked the blind spots. Also, he is signalling to move away, yet he is waiting for a car that is approaching from behind. He should only signal if he intends to start moving, and a signal should not be used as a request for the vehicle behind to let us out unless it's very busy and slow moving. If the car behind reacted to his signal by braking harshly or stopping the flow of traffic, then he would likely fail the driving test. As nothing bad happened, he got away with it. It's good that he stays on the wrong side of the road as he passes these parked cars instead of weaving in and out. That means he can see up ahead if something's coming, and if something tries to overtake him, he's less likely to have a collision. Please pull over in a safe place at the side of the road. Thank you. I'd like you to do the reverse park exercise. Please pull up alongside this white vehicle, reverse behind it, stopping near the curb and within 2 car lengths of the vehicle, please.
Okay.
You can do that when you're ready. Good all-round observations and good accuracy. Also, he didn't wait for the oncoming vehicle, which is good because he was already in the way. Waiting would not have helped. That'll do there, thank you. I should have said not to worry about the driveways on this occasion. I did forget.
Always.
Okay, now I'd like you to follow the sat-nav, please. That's ready. You can start when you're ready.
In 200 yards, turn left onto Normandy Avenue. Turn left onto Normandy Avenue.
It's a very bumpy road.
Yes, I guess whoever's on the council doesn't like someone who lives down here.
Turn left onto Mercy Road, B1025.
So replace other roads close to the area, but leave this one.
Yep.
Take notice of how he continuously checks his side mirrors when dealing with parked cars, but rarely his interior mirror. This is probably because he's used to driving a vehicle without an interior mirror, an ASDA delivery vehicle. Whether or not this would be marked on the driving test will come down to the opinion of the examiner as to whether or not he maintained good enough observations that he was safe. At the moment, I feel he would see anything he needs to, so I feel safe. However, Rule 161 of the Highway Code does state that all mirrors should be used effectively throughout your journey. But he is using all of them, just not the interior mirror for passing parked cars.
In 100 yards, at the roundabout, continue straight to stay on Mercy Road, B1025.
You can see that as he approaches this junction, he's well aware of the vehicles around him. So what would you normally be doing today?
Working.
Oh, of course. Delivering, I guess.
Shopping.
Yes. Do you like your job?
Absolutely love my job.
What do you like?
What about the job?
Yes.
Driving, meeting new customers, helping customers out, helping the elderly, helping just in general really. It's a very rewarding job. Delivering people's shopping when they need it the most, when they can't drive. Yeah, it's very rewarding, I think.
It's good to do something you enjoy. I'd rather be retired. We have a bunch of useless suits running the country, so I can't afford to heat my home. I have to do lessons and, well, tests these days. I used to do lessons.
Well, at least you're doing something.
Yes.
In a quarter of a mile, at the roundabout, continue straight to stay on Mercy Road, B1025.
I think the problem is I always think short term, not long term.
Yep.
Some viewers may be concerned with how sometimes he keeps one hand on the gear stick, or that he doesn't check his mirrors in a robotic learner-style fashion. The driving examiner is trying to determine if the pupil is safe and legal. So far, he has been legal and demonstrated a high level of safety. That is what counts. When you are learning to drive, you may have been taught methods that help an inexperienced driver be safe. As you get highly skilled and experienced though, your methods will likely change. The same is true for how he uses the brake pedal. His foot looks like it's in an awkward position, but he maintains good control of the car.
In a quarter of a mile, at the roundabout, continue straight to stay on Church Hall Road.
This kind of thing rarely comes across on camera, but I'm feeling very uncomfortable with how close we are to these pedestrians at 25 miles an hour with their back to us. If something was to make them react, perhaps a wasp inside the car, they may jump back into the path of our vehicle. He tries to move over to the other side of the road a bit, but it's not enough. On the driving test, this would likely be marked as a stern minor for position normal driving. Stern minor meaning if he does it again, it would be a serious. It's possible that the examiner would give him a serious straight away given our speed and how close we are. If we are this close to pedestrians, we should be less than 10 miles per hour. Whether or not they're on the pavement doesn't matter. It's how close we are that counts. No signal for leaving this roundabout, but as there is no one around apart from a car which is far enough back that our direction doesn't affect them on this occasion, this missed signal will not likely be marked on test.
In a quarter of a mile, at the roundabout, take the first exit and stay on Church Hall Road.
He is doing 20 miles per hour this far back from the line, yet he is still checking right to see if it's safe to go. If he decides to stop now, he would have to slam the brakes on hard. If he is still making a decision, he should be slow enough that he can stop safely. This may be a minor mark for Junctions approach speed.
In 200 yards.
Again, no signal for leaving the roundabout. On this occasion, his signal would be helpful for oncoming traffic about to enter the roundabout, so this would likely be a minor mark for signal necessary.
200 yards, at the roundabout, take the first exit and stay on Church Hall Road.
This time he is doing about the same speed, but he makes his decision earlier when he still has time to stop by the line safely. Compare this to last time when he was close to the line, yet still looking right, trying to decide. It's not the speed that counts, it's how hard you may have to brake. If you can decide far back from the line, you can maintain a higher speed. But if you need to get closer to the line to decide, then you should be slower to prevent sudden braking. This one felt safe. Again, no signal for leaving the roundabout, but it's not affecting anyone here, so it's unlikely to be marked on test. Maybe he is confusing these with mini roundabouts, where no signal means you're going straight. However, these are not mini roundabouts. I'm starting to get the feeling that he generally doesn't signal to leave roundabouts, which is inconsiderate to other road users. So you seem like quite a young lad.
Yeah, I am.
How you find the housing market?
Expensive. But I'm not planning to move out yet.
Much easier in my day.
I can imagine.
How much do you think I bought my house for?
Probably quite lower than it is now.
£10,000.
Oh wow. That is
Mind you, we earned a lot less back then. Still easier though, I think.
In a quarter of a mile, you will arrive at your destination.
Do feel sorry for your generation. Don't think.
You have arrived.
Oh, Please continue, that's just the waypoint.
Okay.
Don't think it's very easy trying to get a property for young people today.
Nope.
Make sure you pay your pension. You're going to need one.
I pay my pension. We're into a pension.
Well, I didn't. Look at me. Doing tests still.
Yep.
This is much safer. He is close to the line trying to decide if he can go, but because he's slower this time, if he decides to stop, he can without slamming the brakes on.
In 50 yards, at the roundabout, take the first exit onto Gosbeggs Road. In a quarter of a mile, at the roundabout, take the third exit and stay on Gosbeggs Road.
He has excellent observations and signalling on this roundabout.
In a quarter of a mile, at the roundabout, take the second exit onto Shrub End Road, B1022.
If you notice, he goes into first gear when he is significantly faster than 5 miles per hour. On this occasion, he does it at 10 miles per hour. This is hard work on the gears, and as a result, some cars will struggle and the gear stick will be stiff. It won't be marked on the driving test in Great Britain, but it's not good practice.
In half a mile, turn left onto Winston Avenue. Take the next left onto Winston Avenue, then you will arrive at your destination.
He didn't check his mirrors before signalling here, but he did check them well before doing a 90-degree turn into the road.
You have arrived.
Again, that's just a waypoint. Please continue.
In 300 yards, turn left onto the Commons.
Please pull over at the side of the road before the white van. Ouch! Let the indicator click off and reapply it if it's the mechanical type. Don't force it down as you turn the wheel. Thank you. Please move away when you're ready.
In 150 yards, turn right onto the Commons. Take the next right onto the Commons, then you will arrive at your destination. You have arrived.
End of the road right, please. Sorry, the sat-nav didn't tell you.
It's fun.
Good speed and observations at this junction. Many people will be complaining that he is not using the handbrake when waiting at traffic lights, but he doesn't have to. It feels like he has good control of the car, so I am happy. And that's just me checking that the camera is still recording. Ah, well, I spoke too soon. He put the handbrake on. Good observations for cyclists before going at the green light.
You have arrived.
Please continue following the sat-nav.
In a quarter of a mile, turn right onto Eldred Avenue.
Please find a safe place to pull over on the left. Okay, we're not going to follow the sat-nav for a bit because I want you to do the emergency stop.
Cool.
My signal for the emergency stop will be I'll put my hand out and say stop.
Okay.
I may look behind to make sure it's safe, but my back hurts, so I'd probably just try and use my mirror.
Cool.
Do not do the emergency stop unless I put my hand out and say stop,
Okay.
because we may not be able to do it if it's unsafe.
It was quite busy today.
Okay. Move away when you're ready, please. When he does the stop, it takes too long. The car could have stopped in about a third of the distance he is about to use. So this would be a serious mark for controlled stop and therefore a test fail. Stop. Okay, thank you. I won't ask you to do that again. When you're ready, please move away when it's safe. And I'd like you to take, which is now the next road on the right, and continue following the sat-nav. He should enter this road using only his half if possible. As he cut into the other side of the road slightly, this will likely be marked as a minor for junctions cutting corners. Even though he only did it slightly and no one was coming, in my experience, driving examiners are usually strict on this one.
In 200 yards, your destination will be on the right.
Please continue to follow the road ahead. The destination is just a way marker on the sat-nav.
Your destination is on the right.
As I say, please continue following the road ahead. And continue to follow the sat-nav now.
In 200 yards, turn right onto Walnut Tree Way. Turn right onto Walnut Tree Way, then you will arrive at your destination. You have arrived.
Please continue to follow the road ahead and follow the sat-nav.
In 200 yards, turn left onto Shrub End Road, B1022.
He is dealing with the parked cars safely. We are not too close for the speed.
Take the next left onto Shrub End Road, B1022, then turn right onto King Harold Road. Take the next right onto King Harold Road.
On this occasion, he actually steers into his own half of the road. If anything, he steers a bit late, but it doesn't cause a problem on this occasion.
In a quarter of a mile, turn right onto Ambrose Avenue.
Excellent planning for dealing with this oncoming car and a good attitude towards the car moving away from the side of the road.
Take the next right onto Ambrose Avenue, then turn left onto the Commons. Take the next left onto the Commons.
It doesn't come across on camera, but I remember feeling mildly uncomfortable here. His speed around the parked car was a bit high for the situation, meaning although he had time to check his mirrors, he didn't have time to act if he was to see something in them. Also, a car enters the road partially on his side. This is not Ewan's fault, but it's still Ewan's responsibility to deal with it safely. He should have slowed down and given the oncoming car more time to move back to their half of the road without getting so close. This would likely be a minor mark for Judgement meeting.
Continue for 3/4 of a mile. In a quarter of a mile, turn right onto Lexden Road, A1124. Take the next right onto...
It's good that he slowed down, although I would like him to slow down more because he's very close to the pedestrian and the oncoming car, but especially because he's not looking forwards. He's using his mirror to see how far away he is from the curb. This works great when you're going backwards, but when you're going forwards, you are looking at the past. Now, I'm not saying he shouldn't be doing this, but if he's so close to the curb that he feels he needs to check his mirror to check his distance, he shouldn't be at 12 miles an hour. He should be closer to walking speed. So this would be a minor for use of speed.
Right onto Lexden Road, A1124.
To the right, just off camera, there is a queue of cars and the first car is letting us out. The problem here though is that he doesn't think about what could be overtaking that queue of cars. There could be a motorbike or even another car coming. Instead of improving his view carefully, he just goes. So this would be a minor mark for Junctions observations.
In a quarter of a mile, turn left onto Glen Avenue. Take the next left onto Glen Avenue, then you will arrive at your destination. You have arrived.
please take the next
In
road.
100 yards, turn right onto Hubert Road. Take the next right onto Hubert Road, then turn right onto Fitzwilliam Road.
As he enters this road, he doesn't keep it to his half. This is the second time he has done this, but on both occasions he could see it was safe to do so. Let's see how he does on a junction where he can't see.
Take the next right onto Fitzwilliam Road, then your destination will be on the right.
He has started turning here, so he is going to go completely on the wrong side of the road. You can't see this on camera, but our view to the right is not good enough to know if someone is coming. He should slow down, go further forwards to improve his view, and then put some effort into keeping it on his side. As he has turned so early into the wrong side of the road without a clear view, this would almost certainly be a serious for junctions cutting corners. Driving into the wrong side of the road with a restricted view would be acceptable if this was his only option and he did it slowly and cautiously.
Your destination is on the right.
Okay, that's the end of the sat-nav. Please pull over on the hill on the left, next to the brick wall. So that's the end of the independent driving. You okay?
Yeah, all good.
Okay, that was just the heel hold assist releasing.
Okay.
And then the handbrake taking hold. I'll give you directions from here.
Cool.
So, when you're ready, please follow the road ahead. Hills always look small on camera. This is one of the steepest in the town, yet he is making it look easy. He has a high level of skill. End of the road, right. Next road, left. After the bend, as he goes round the parked car, he nearly hits the curb on the right. This would be another minor for position normal driving. And please pull over on the left in a safe place. Thank you. Move away when you're ready, please. An error from me. I give a very late instruction. I should be telling him no later than about here. End of the road left. Sorry. God, I'm supposed to be giving directions now, aren't I?
It's all good.
When it's safe, can you show me how you would use your horn? Thank you. At the roundabout, I would like you to go left, first exit.
There's two lefts here. Which one's the first one, the second one?
left first exit, please.
Okay.
After the test, he explained to me that he usually uses lane 2 to take this exit, which is fine because you can use both lanes. There's 2 lanes on the exit road, and lane 1 can exit in lane 1 and lane 2 can exit in lane 2 of the exit road. But the worrying thing is he told me that he uses lane 2, but then as he exits the roundabout goes straight into lane 1. And he did explain that some people had been using their horn at him because he thought lane 1 was just for turning into this road. But this road isn't part of the roundabout. This is the first left in the exit. Absolute beauty. V8.
Oh, that's the Martin.
Yes. At the roundabout, I would like you to go ahead, second exit.
Pardon me.
To help with your planning, at the next roundabout, you'll be turning right.
Okay.
I would like to go right, third exit at the roundabout. At the next roundabout, right, third exit, please. He should be cancelling his signal before passing this road because his signal is now misleading and may cause a vehicle to pull out in front of us. As no one was there, this would likely be a minor mark for signals necessary. But if a car was waiting to pull out, this would very likely be a serious mark. In previous videos, some people have commented on the fact that I often cancel the signal myself. Self-cancelling signals are a safety system in case the driver forgets. They are not something you should rely on. This is a good example for why it's better not to get into the habit of relying on them to cancel automatically. Please pull over on the left before the black Mercedes. Stop within 1 car length of the vehicle. You will likely be asked to pull over 4 to 5 times on test. This one is for the angle start. So a bit closer, bit closer. That will do there. Thank you. Move away when you're ready. The angle start is moving away from the side of the road when there is a vehicle no more than a car length in front of you. It's good that he's noticed the bus lane ahead, meaning he has to turn right at this mini roundabout. I haven't told him this, and neither would an examiner likely tell him this on a real test. He has to see for himself. At the beginning of the test, you are told something along the lines of, follow the road ahead unless road signs or markings direct you otherwise. At the roundabout, please go ahead, second exit. At the roundabout, please go left, first exit, but you'll find it easier to use the middle lane, and please exit in the middle lane as well. When lane choice is different to normal and there are no road signs or markings to help you until it's too late, your examiner will likely give you some advice as to which lane you need. As you can see, the road markings are far from clear, and the ones that are clear are too late to be of much help. He doesn't signal to leave this roundabout, and there are cars up ahead waiting to enter the roundabout, so our signal will help them with their decisions. So this is another minor mark for signals necessary. To help with your planning, we'll be going right at the next roundabout. This was my mistake. I gave him a late instruction, meaning he had less time to change lane, and he ended up changing near the traffic lights, which is not ideal because if they change to red when he's mid-lane change, we might end up stopping in the middle of two lanes. Roundabout right, fourth exit. This roundabout is actually called a circus. I'm not joking, St. Botolph's Circus. Excellent awareness and signalling. More room for the cyclist would be safer here. Ideally, he should be leaving enough room for the cyclist to be able to fall off without contacting our car. So this would likely be a minor mark for judgment overtaking. Pay attention to how closely he follows the black car in front. The camera makes the car look further ahead, so count the time gap. He should be at least 2 seconds back from the car, but there are times when he's only about a second back. I understand it doesn't come across on camera, but I remember feeling too close on several occasions. This would very likely be a minor mark for following distance. He's getting a bit too close here. That's a safer following distance. As the car in front slows down, Ewan gets closer, which is understandable, but he doesn't then regain his minimum 2-second gap. Mini roundabout left. Please pull over at the side of the road in a safe place. You will likely be asked to pull over on a main road to see how you deal with cars behind. Thank you. When you're ready, move away, and I would like you to take the next road on the left. And please pull over when you find a safe place on the left. We have stopped next to a junction on the other side of the road, although in my experience this is unlikely to be marked when we're in such a quiet area and the road is so small. But I still don't want to be here. Thank you. Move away when you're ready. Find a safe place to pull over on the left. He stopped slightly outside of this driveway. That would likely be a minor mark for position and normal stops. Okay. Would you mind reversing slightly, please, because we're outside this person's driveway?
Yeah, that's fine.
That will do, thank you. That's the end of your test.
Cool.
I'm afraid to say you haven't passed.
Huh.
One of the reasons was the emergency stop.
Yeah, I thought that was it as well, to be honest.
What did you think?
I wasn't prepared for that, even though you told me about it.
It was on the light side of harsh.
Yeah.
It should be an emergency. Right. Richard has been watching. I'll let him give you the full debrief.
Cool. Do you want to turn the engine off?
Yes, please. I wish you the best of luck for next time.
Thank you. You all right there?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you. So how do you think that went?
Yeah, all right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So the emergency stop, what happened there?
Wasn't quick enough.
It wasn't harsh enough, and that's probably because it wasn't a real emergency. And that's part of what you train to do when you have your driving lessons. Get used to the fact that driving instructor says stop, and you've got to pretend it's an emergency. So I'm sure if you needed to brake hard, you would, but the way you demonstrated the emergency stop on test would be a fail, for sure. And there's no question there. That's a very easy one for me to decide because it was not even half of what the car could do. I'd say you're probably braking at about 30% of the car's capability there. In fact, in some areas,
I didn't even see the hand.
your normal driving, sometimes you're braking harder than that. Yeah. That does lead me on to my overall assessment of your drive here.
Okay.
Now, there's 4 things that make a driver. Knowledge, skill, confidence, and attitude. And my assessment of you is that you have enough knowledge. You definitely have enough skill. Now, there's going to be many people who did not like the way Ewan was using the steering wheel because you were crossing your arms. You had your one hand on the wheel for periods of it. But most of the time, the way you were using the wheel felt like you were in good control. That's partly skill, down to skill. So I think your skill is okay. Your skill's good. There are a couple of occasions where you let go of the wheel completely. That's not okay.
Yeah.
You should have your hand, at least one hand on the wheel at all times. Then there's confidence. You seem like a confident driver. Confidence isn't holding you back. And then there's attitude. And I think that may be why you're here. Because you're here for a reason, aren't you?
Yes.
What is this reason? Why are you here with me today?
Wants a bit more training.
Because you feel like that may be what you need.
Yeah.
And what has led you to that
Well,
conclusion?
Had a bit of ups and downs with the emergency stop, and obviously the steering. Also, I took my hands off the wheel.
That was during this mock test, though. What's happened before the mock test that made you feel this way?
Had minor accidents at work.
Minor accidents,
Yeah.
Just try and talk a little. I'm not sure if that microphone will be hearing you. Just make your voice a bit louder for the people viewing. So, minor accidents in your work vehicle.
Yep.
Reversing.
Reversing mainly, yeah.
Yeah. And I think you could be a much better driver if your attitude was slightly different. It's not knowledge, it's not skill, it's not confidence. It's just your attitude is a bit, how can I say this? Rush. Just a little bit rushed. I'd say it's...
I am a delivery driver as well. So
yes, and that is the problem with being a delivery driver and being in that line of work is it doesn't create a safe driver because your priority, and that is really what attitude is what is your priority? Your priority is speed. And there was quite a few times during that drive where I didn't feel 100% comfortable. I felt comfortable with your ability to control the car, but I was like, I need a bit of time here to see what's going to happen there, what could happen here, but you're just off and going. And as a driver, I'd be taking a bit more time to make sure it's safe.
Okay.
An example would be the following distance to the Nissan Qashqai near the end of the test. That's too close. You've got a second gap, probably less than a second gap there for a lot of the time. Why? Because they're doing 27 on your speedo. Give them room.
Yeah.
Even if they're doing 20 on your speedo, give them room. That will give you time to stop. There's times when I could see you checking your mirror long enough that if they started braking, you wouldn't notice until you probably hit them. And I see you looking in the mirror, I'm seeing you close to the car in front, and I'm thinking, you're not going to notice if they brake. You need that leeway, you're human.
Yeah.
You're not always paying attention to someone's brake lights.
No.
Something can happen. And that's the attitude that can make you a lot safer. And attitude actually goes a long way when it comes to safety. Also, when you were following closely, it was much harder for me to see what was up ahead, what was about to happen. When we saw the zebra crossing in the distance, we're very close to that car, it's hard for me to see either side of it and what's going on. When you're further back, you get a much better view of the road ahead and it's easier. There's an occasion that springs to mind as well when you pulled out of a junction, Church Lane or Church Road, don't know what it's called, Church something. There was a queue of cars on the right waiting for you and you went. But as a driver, what I wanted to do was pull out slowly, make sure there's no motorbike overtaking that queue of cars and then go. So I'm thinking about that. And that's, again, it's just attitude of safety, putting safety higher than progress.
Yeah.
Easy for me to say as a driving instructor because that's what I do for a living.
Yeah.
But as a delivery driver, it's much harder to do that. Is time important for you?
Most of the time, yeah.
And I'm guessing that your minor incidents, as you call them, are going to, and I had a feeling before you even started driving this would be the case, because quite often it is the case.
Yeah.
You've been driving 4 years, you're a delivery driver, you're clearly going to have skill by now. It's going to be down to the fact that you're just not taking enough time. You described an incident where you reversed and hit a wall because it was a bit higher than you thought.
Yeah.
Why not get out and have a look? If you're not 100% sure, well, you're 100% sure.
No.
There you go.
Because the trainee said you shouldn't do it until you try. And obviously that got in my mind.
Shouldn't do it until you try. What does that mean?
absolutely no idea. This is memo. What he says most of the time. You should never do it before you try it. So you can't say it until you try it.
Well, there is a saying in performance driving that you don't know the limit until you go beyond it, but that's not appropriate on the road. You're not trying to find the limit. You're not. What I do, if I've got someone else in the car, and I do this often, if I'm not sure, I'll say, can you get out and just see how close I can get to that curb or whatever.
Yeah.
I have no problem with doing that. I don't feel like I have less skill for doing that. I feel like it's just me being safe and making sure I don't risk damage. Because that curb that my front of the car might want to go over might be a bit too high, might scrape the underneath of my bumper.
Yeah.
It's hard to judge exactly how high it's going to be. So I just have a look, and if I'm on my own, I won't risk it. I'll go as close as I am sure that I'm not going to hit something. I'm sure I'm not going to hit it now. I'll get out and have a look, see how much room I've got, or can I carry on. It just makes it much easier to judge. It's hard to judge from inside of the car. No matter how long you've been driving, you're never going to have perfect judgment.
Yeah.
If you found the video interesting, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're looking for car insurance, check out the links to Collingwood and Confused in the description. If you're learning to drive and want to insure yourself on somebody else's car, then Collingwood is there for you, because you can insure yourself on someone else's car without affecting their policy, and that takes away a big stress from the owner of that car. Via the link at the moment, there's up to 35% off and a £20 Amazon gift card. If you want to insure your own car, I recommend checking out the link to confused.com, because you fill out one quote form and get loads of quotes back from many insurers to compare who's cheapest. And you can change your car on that quote as many times as you like without having to do the whole quote again. So it's a quick and easy way to compare how much it costs to insure different cars. Using the links doesn't cost you anything, but it does support the channel. So thank you very much. Subscribe to get my future videos. And until the next one, cheerio. Here's a little bit of bonus footage at the end of this video, because I'm giving Ewan now a bit more of a descriptive debrief of what's gone on. You've already seen it, didn't want to go through it all again because it would take too long. But I was mentioning the fact that there was occasions where he was turning into roads on the side and going into the road on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah.
And your answer to that was?
Because I drive a bigger vehicle, and
Yeah.
I need a bit more room to manoeuvre around the corner.
But this isn't a big vehicle, is it?
No, it's a tiny
But also, when you're driving that big vehicle, you told me that people
beep at me because they think I'm invading a space on the road, but I'm not. I just need to go around the corner.
But you're driving the big vehicle.
Yeah.
It's your responsibility, if you're going to take up somebody else's space, to make sure that it's safe to do so first. And that's why they're beeping at you.
Yeah.
And I think that, again, it's not knowledge, it's not skill, you're aware of it. It's just your attitude there of, okay, well, I'm going to turn into a road on the right. I need both sides of the road. You should be pulling up and checking to make sure you can use both sides of the road before assuming you can.
Yeah.
And then making that car coming to the end of the road, having to brake, and then obviously getting frustrated that you're taking their path there.
Yeah.
So another example there is mostly down to attitude, isn't it? And I'm
Yeah.
sure if you just take your time, errors that happen, learn from them, and see what you can do, you'll be a good driver, because you clearly have a lot of skill. There's no problems there.
Yeah.
Now that really is the end of the video. I will be giving Ewan some time, some help, and hopefully you will benefit from it.
Definitely.
We will see. Thank you.